James, Daddy, what have you been up to?
I have, the clues in the attire. It's not have a the
Say,
diamond either.
yeah, these jeans, I saw them. Are they new jeans?
No, they're old jeans, and they've become very much a staple of my wardrobe. They're flared. I feel a bit like Trini at the moment. Trini Woodall. They're flared, but we keep being asked to 1970s parties.
Oh, fun.
Anyway, I've bought this pair of jeans that have flares, and they fit well. So I just wear this. What do I normally wear? And I've got an Indian shirt with no collar, and then I've got that light suede jacket, that 70s light suede jacket.
Oh, yeah,
So I
the
wear
one
that.
that's like tassely. With the stitching, with the white stitching.
With the white stitching.
Yeah.
It hasn't got the tassels.
Yeah.
It hasn't got the
Oh,
Dallas.
yeah, I bought that in...
Fort Worth.
I bought that in Brighton.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a nice jacket.
But it's just perfect combo. In the 70s party, I've got the 3 items. It's a bit like having black tie.
Yeah,
I've got it on the hanger.
Ready to go.
I've got a 1970s hanger. So we went to this great party. In fact, it was like being back in London again. We went to drinks party first. This was on Saturday.
Nice.
Lovely Mo and Nash had a very splendid drinks party there. Met some nice people there. And they, just to throw into the mix, they had 3 transvestites doing a floor show. Anyway.
Doing a floor? What do you mean?
Sort of. They were
like
doing...
drag queens?
Drag queens.
Fun.
Yeah, drag queens. And so they had that, nibbly bits. They had this sort of bowl food that... when somebody says bowl food, I sort of think a cereal bowl. I wasn't expecting a sort of a rather large teacup.
It's like halfway between a canapé and a food and proper food. Yeah,
they were delicious. They had a beef one, a sort of very much a sort of cured, very seared beef with I don't know, spring onions, whatever. Yeah. Lovely stuff. And then they had a mac and cheese. I never saw a mac and cheese, but I saw somebody eat a mac and cheese. So we went there, and then so I took this kiss in the back of the car, and then we seamlessly drove half an hour further north to lovely the Rixes, Debbie and Tony. And it was an unnamed birthday, and it was really lovely. And Tony had been, he was a BBC director-producer.
They're quite 70s names, that.
Yeah.
Debbie and Tony.
Anyway, Tony is lovely and loves Debbie, and Debbie's delightful and a great author. She's writing her 10th book at the moment.
Oh, wow.
And Tony had, as a devotional act, he'd made this lovely film which was showing on a reel in their sitting room, and it was sort of Debbie's life, and it showed Debbie, because Debbie was had been a television presenter. I think she'd done some regional stuff, then some national stuff. She was a girl of the 80s. She looked as though she'd come out of an 80s pop group.
Yeah. Nice.
It was great fun. So we had 2 really fun parties.
Oh, that's really nice.
Hence the flares.
That's always quite good.
Yeah.
It's quite a fun thing. I think fancy dress is quite fun.
It is, isn't it?
It's weird. You always dress up as children, and then I think you get older and you start doing it again. I think that's just the circle of life.
I remember Amelia's school, they were really keen on fancy dress, weren't they?
Yeah.
They had a lot of fancy dress.
Yeah. They had Bedbury.
No, Bryanston.
Yeah.
They were always making stuff for that Saturday party, weren't they?
Yeah, they're quite party people though. I remember talking to people who were at the school, and it's like they had like a bar on a Wednesday, and like everyone was having like an absolute blast, and I was just like looking at a monk, like, Jesus, what am I doing?
There's not a lot you can do with that habit.
Yeah. The only wine we get is at communion.
Jockey it back. I wonder what they use for communion wine.
It was actually all Catholics, all right. You just had to. They were quite naughty. I think you had to stand in the. If you wanted the good one, you stand in the Catholic queue.
Yeah.
Because they had the C of E queue, and
that
they just
they
give you the dog
cheap
shit.
flop.
Yeah. All the monks had to drink that, but the game was to try and drink as much as possible because they give you and you just grab their hands. You'd see this guy like fighting. Yeah.
As well as blood of Christ. So between blood of Christ and Amen.
Yeah. Just trying to get it down. But, yeah.
Now, have you brought something along? Because remember, antiques and stuff.
Antiques and stuff. Well, this is definitely the antique side of antiques and stuff.
I like
you
the
this
sleeve. Yeah.
Did I? Yeah.
Oh, very good.
I think this is my 21st birthday present.
Okay, go on.
Which
reveal.
Well, it's
So you've got a
nice case with it. So it's a nice case. Who
I think Vanessa Sadler made that.
So your really good friend who lives in
Northumberland,
who's got obviously works with a lot of leather because she's mad horsey. So they made the slip for it, which is really nice.
I went to see him. He is the most incredible craftsman. And I've forgotten where he lives in Northumberland, lives in this beautiful cottage. And you knew you were going to a craftsman's house because you went into his gateway, into his drive, and there in front of you was the most beautiful stack of logs I've ever seen. It was like sort of going to a Barbara Hepworth sort of sculpture or something, and it was beautiful. Everything was beautifully arranged, and it had an artist's eye. And he makes all the incredible tack, because Vanessa competes at this very high level.
Yeah.
So they're showing these horses, and everything is judged: your saddle, your attar, namely the horse.
And is that what they call it? Is she dressage?
No, she doesn't.
What is eventing?
I think she does.
Is it eventing?
No, eventing's rushing around, isn't it? She shows how horses that would have been the Ferrari or the Lamborghinis of the day. So they were horses that were bred for very smart people to ride in Hyde Park.
Fine.
To show off. To
It's not showing, is it called?
It could be. It could be showing.
Showing. Is it
could be showing?
Yeah, I want to say there's a name for it.
Yeah, could be showing. So. Go on, back to the item. Tell, because people are listening. What is it?
It's a leather slip, and then inside is like it's just a straight cut glass hip flask, effectively. I don't know how much that would probably be.
It's
like
that shouldered body.
Yeah,
it's sort of elongated rectangle.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's like 1920s, I reckon.
We'll be able to tell by the hallmark.
There we go.
Then what's the top then?
And then the top is basically it's a silver thing with my initials on, which you pop off and it's like loose. It feels loose.
Yeah.
Then you pop it off and it's like a shot glass.
Oh,
it's sort of like
really
ribbed.
Clever. So you pull it out.
Pull it out like that, and then you can drink like that. Straight out.
And that's a sort of telescopic cup, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Telescopic, that's the right word.
And is there any evidence of silvering on the inside of the cup? Oh, gilding, I mean.
Yes, there is a bit.
Yeah.
Looks a bit golden there if you have a look.
There we are. Yeah. So you've got a cork bottom there, and then it's gilded on the inside, and then, oh, yes, that's lovely, Charlie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. I've got my
glasses.
Got my specs here. Get the binos on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. So we got the Lion Passant there. Oh, God, we were doing all right, weren't we? It's by Asprey's.
Oh, nice.
And I rather like that. Nowadays, Asprey's or Cartier wouldn't bother to write the address on. But this is hand engraved, and it says Asprey's, 156 Bond Street.
Really?
All around the side. So that's a really nice item. And then with your engraved initials there.
Yeah. So
on the top.
It's really
nice. That's a very unusual item, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't. I really. I'm quite skeptical of taking it out. So I mean, I should take it out on days.
No,
out, but I think it's too nice.
And
really.
actually, that's why we got that leather sleeve for you, the case, because it's very vulnerable. That glass.
But saying that is some thick glass. I mean, I know, I wouldn't, but
I know it is thick glass. That's really good glass, isn't it? And the way it's cut, it's beautifully cut.
Yeah,
and then it just fit, and of course everything fits beautifully.
It works really well.
All these lovely luxury goods, and again, you'd be hard pressed to find something like that. There were lots of I think a lot of people spent their time outside, didn't they?
Yeah. And a lot of people spent a lot more time drinking.
They did.
I think that's the thing that we were saying earlier. You know, like lots of stuff. Antiques wise, or smaller stuff especially, is around drinking and smoking.
Yeah, it is. And also it tends to survive because I think stuff, glasses and things like that, were always put in cupboards and cabinets. So they're slightly protected, aren't they? Whereas furniture and everything gets bashed around. That's a really lovely item.
Yeah, it's nice.
So you've got the novelty of the cap turning into a cup.
Which is fun.
You've got a great maker at Asprey's.
Yeah.
That's a really lovely item.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice. It's really, really worked. It's worked well. The few times I've used it, I've worked really well.
Yeah, perfect.
It's got good slip. Also, it's quite nice with this slip because actually, you wouldn't know what this is, and it does look a bit. It looks a bit. This looks like binoculars.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's that kind of vibe, which actually is sometimes quite nice because if something's too nice, looks too smart, you're always worried that someone's just going to pick it up.
No, that's a really nice item. It looks really good, and it reminds me that sort of black look. There was a funny thing that taverns used to have. They were called blackjacks, and they were made of heavy leather, and they were jugs for beer. It just shows you that beer. You know, I think beer was pretty filthy. It must have been pretty filthy.
It would have been disgusting.
And you had these jugs in taverns, so you wouldn't have them in the home, but they were there, so it wasn't another weapon.
Yeah, right, okay, so you can smash
So if you hit somebody with a leather jug, it wasn't going to do them much
damage. That's true, actually, because, they did used to drink a lot out of leather, didn't they?
Yeah.
And wood.
Trenchers.
Wood, and, we were, because we're in the brewing industry. What's my day job, and 80% of it is it's all in stainless steel. We have pretty hardcore chemicals to clean everything. Yeah, caustic soda and peracetic acid. There's loads of jet washing. There's 80% of it is cleaning for the brewing team.
Yeah,
I maybe a bit less. I'm not quite sure as they get better, or like it's easier with tech. Yeah. But imagine not having any of that.
Well, I think there was very little duty of care, but it was customer led. So you didn't have lots of people saying, "Oh no, you can't go there. They don't meet so and so." You would know if you'd had a bad pint, or your mate had a bad pint somewhere. You wouldn't go there again.
No.
But now, of course, we have checkertrade.com and all these TripAdvisor. There's lots of people busily telling you. Although TripAdvisor, in a funny way, is word of mouth, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah, it is kind of, but I think the problem with some of those things is the anonymity that you can get on them.
Yeah.
You can be nasty. The internet allows people to be nasty because if you're saying that, if you verbally gave a review that people do on TripAdvisor to someone like in person, you probably walk away being like, God, that person's not very nice.
Yeah, I know.
I would be like, some of the reviews that I've read, I doubt I put good money that everyone who said wouldn't say that. And they're always like 365 Helen, they're not their real name.
No.
So
no.
I do think that's a bit unfair.
I remember proposing a program idea saying meet the reviewer.
Yeah.
Where you doorstep somebody who'd leave the most horrendous review.
Which I think would be really funny.
It would be funny.
It would be funny because it kind of puts it back on them as
yeah,
well.
it really put them on the back foot to have the landlord or the restaurant owner.
Yeah.
Or the chef.
Or the chef.
With a big meat cleaver.
I just think I think it'd be funny. Well, it'd be good. It's a bit like the person who ever thought of Gogglebox is a genius / must be a bit mad because that's been such a successful television program. Imagine pitching that in a meeting. It's like we're going to film them watching television. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, marvellous.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like, but then that's a huge industry now with... have you heard of Twitch?
No. What's this Twitch?
Twitch is I didn't know this until recently, it's like a social platform where people post videos or live stream them playing video games.
Oh, okay.
So you can watch... people playing.
Well, our younger listeners will love this, won't they?
And you're always like, that seems ridiculous. But actually, I've seen a few clips. It's quite entertaining. It's quite entertaining. It works just like most.
And their commentary is it language, effing and jeffing?
Yeah, they're always like really, really aggressive. It's like this 14-year-old Korean kid like doing racial slurs. You're like, Jesus Christ, man! You're like, chill out. But they're all. It's quite mad. But watching people do other things is quite funny. And I do think that reviewer thing would be funny because also it puts it slightly on them.
But I remember the early days of the pub that we had, the Lamb Inn at Wortley. I remember getting. I don't know what particular beef was. Somebody left a really strange review that was very neggy and was very uncalled for and had very little substance. And I thought, how does somebody get a platform? Because, we were all brought up to say, if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Keep it to yourself. But suddenly all these people were given
platform
to do it.
Or just say it. Because I think after working in restaurants and having pubs and stuff like that, I think it's fine if you say it at the time and you're nice about it, and you're like, I'm really sorry, like, because that's why you always check on.
I don't think there was any fish in my fish pie.
Yeah.
Oh, huge revelation.
Yeah. I remember he was that guy John who used to come in with Iris, John and Iris, who obviously he had
the ex-parachute regiment.
His taste buds had vacated quite a long time ago, and they were like our first people to come and have a drink on like a Monday or Tuesday. We'd been closed for a day, and John had his second pint and was going in for his third. He was like, I tell you what, it does taste a bit funny. And I was like, oh, sorry about that, John. I'll just double check it. I drank it. I was like, whoa! It was like pure vinegar. It was disgusting. But he was like, third pint in, like, something not quite right about it. But he was really nice about stuff. But
I remember John sitting down on a tankard. And I was about to move it. We were sitting outside, and there was that low brick wall outside the pub. And the pub had that great sort of high pavement, didn't it? So on the corner, cars rushing around. But they weren't any threat to you because you were above them. They've just gone into the earthen bank, which they tend to do the whole time. And John sat down on this wall, and he sat on a tankard, a sort of pewter tankard, and he didn't notice. And I was going to say something to him, and I just thought, no, I suppose he's done so many parachute drops and landed on trees and hedges and ditches. He doesn't feel anything in the old arse anymore.
No, he was probably he was a funny chap. I think he's probably landed enough on his bum.
Anyway, talking about hospitality, here's the hospitality. Get in there. Get involved. Get involved. Well, this is an Indian brass. It's a sort of flatbread chapati box.
Oh, nice. What's this? This is I'm getting. Is this the?
Cinnamon.
I'm getting aromas.
I'm getting spices.
It's a fruitcake.
It's a fruitcake. This is my new obsession. This is my 4th fruitcake, and I remembered the eggs in this one.
Nice. The last one I had was, it's really tasty. There you go. Have some.
I don't think it's as good as the last one.
I think you nailed it on your first attempt, which is always a terrible thing to do with cooking, because you're then always trying to achieve something straight back end. But I think it's nice. It's really nice.
The ginger's nice, isn't it?
Ginger's nice. You mummy love ginger. You're always putting in.
I love ginger.
You're always putting in stem ginger. There's always some sort of ginger in a dish.
I think we have some terrible
tea
deficiency somewhere.
Yeah, I think there must be something that you're craving for it, because it's not my favourite. But that's nice. I'm not a massive ginger person. If I genuinely, it's the one thing I never use ginger at home.
Now, don't they do this in the cricket? Don't they? They're always Aggers and everybody.
They have a cake. Yeah, they bring a cake to the thing. There must be some sort of bet thing that goes round.
Is it a lemon drizzle?
Yeah.
Do you?
No, there's sometimes.
It's like the Queen of Ascot used to be. What colour was she wearing? There was big betting.
Oh, big betting on that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, I don't know. Well, cricket season's coming up, so I don't know what kind of cakes. I like. Who's that? Andy, their stat guy.
Is it?
Yeah, who's really sweet. He's always bringing in a cake. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a nice thing to.
it's a nice thing. I must say, I've never done any baking before, but I'm writing a new book, A Tale of Stolen Gold, about a heist in Turkey by some naughty Russians working on a super yacht who get bored because the owner never actually comes to the yacht. So they decide to do this heist. My heroes from Hastings, Barty and Larnell, I don't think they cook the fruitcake. Oh, it's a new character called Annie, who's working with Prue, and she cooks this fruitcake because Jack, the young antique stealer with his dog Clyde, likes fruitcake, so she decides to make fruitcake. And I got this recipe from our lovely church warden, Pam.
Nice Pam.
Lovely Pam. And Pam said, "Will people always congratulate me on my fruitcake?" She gave me this recipe, and I tried it, and it works.
Yeah, it was. I was so impressed with the first one that I had, but everyone's taking the piss out of you at home because you keep talking about it. You're like anybody who walks through the door. It's about 2 seconds. Like, have you tried my fruitcake yet? Like, you can just see Mummy just like, oh, I can just keep talking about his fruitcake.
I know. We all need cake though, don't we? God,
yeah, cakes are good.
It's very good, but it's strangely addictive. I don't know whether it's the ginger or the fruit. The raisins, half a pint of raisins.
Half a pint of raisin. I think your sweet tooth gets amplified with age.
I think
massively.
So. Who was the lovely man? Peter and Jane Dunn.
Yeah. Peter Dunn, who used to have 2 courses of puddings.
Yeah,
he just wouldn't eat. Sometimes he'd have a savoury starter.
Would he?
Yeah, sometimes. But he was in his early 90s and he was still driving. He was still able to get out and about.
Yeah.
And I think if I was plus of 90,
I think
all the social decor. No, he was very polite and he was a very nice man.
Yeah.
But he was just like, bugger it. I'm going to have 2 puddings.
Puddings.
I might as well.
My wife is going to have a savoury starter.
Yeah.
And then a main course.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have the first pudding.
Scare everyone around.
Well, she was in hospitality for a long time.
She was. She was scary though, Mrs.
She
Dunn.
was.
I remember having
scary.
to go to meet her a couple of times at Stone House. They're very stately place where they did sort of.
But they were
B&B.
the squires.
Yeah.
Squires of the village.
But they did B&B as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very high class.
Very high. Yeah, but.
Yeah. Nobody in high vis.
Yeah, no. But I love those people who are like terrible snobs, and you're just like, effectively, you do run a B&B.
Yeah, I know. But it's now badged, especially around here in Sussex. It's badged as Glyndebourne B&B. You're not B&B.
You're suitable for Glyndebourne.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. It's given this preface.
They're doing huge discounts for young people.
Are they?
Yeah. I think sub 30, 35 and below, you get 50 or 60% off tickets.
It's a great idea.
I know.
Opera. You know, you always need a new generation.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah. I think it's really important. I actually quite like. I listen to more and more classical music now.
Do you?
Yeah, I wake up to BBC Three.
Oh, that's very good.
It's a nicer radio station to wake up to than do, and then they give you the bullet points of the day of Radio 4, and it's just like
just so
fucking
depressed.
so depressed. Death.
I think the news is best to be avoided at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's good to keep abreast of it. I just read the paper on Sunday now. I just think that's the just get a week's worth. Any other big massive things you get told of.
Yeah.
But I think people, I get sucked in sometimes when you just spend all your time looking at, get deep dive into a topic, and it's not good for you.
No, it isn't. I bought, because normally I don't buy it, I bought the Saturday Times, and it has a very good magazine, and it had the blessed Rebecca Vardy in it, talking about her life post the great Wagatha Christie with Colleen Rooney, which was...
She came off quite badly in that,
she
didn't
did.
she?
Well, she did, and she had to settle the costs, and I think she settled in all £3 million.
Really?
So Colleen's side and her side.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I felt sorry, because Wayne just wants to talk about football, doesn't he?
I know.
He doesn't want to. I doubt that was much fun. I love that someone did a meme of, of him like in a really ill-fitting suit and just looking miserable outside the court, and it just said, "Oh shit, sorry." It just said when your PE teacher has to come to speech day.
Really out of his comfort zone. But that was an incredible, because I think during the 19th century, the Victorian period, it was breach. The High Court in the Strand was full of actions, High Court actions for breach of promise. Yeah. So somebody had promised to get married to somebody, and then it didn't happen, and there was action for breach of promise. But it shows you how it can't have been relatively that expensive to do that. And all the newspapers thrived on it, because it was always some rakish aristocrat who promised somebody to marry and then probably had his wicked way, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it was full of that. And the newspapers, of course, because they go to court and they were allowed to report. So it was great stories for them the whole time. But, it's a very expensive affair now. So to get... Colleen and Rebecca Vardy doing court case was very, two top QCs at the time, weren't they?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I actually recently just rewatched that, A Very English Scandal with Jeremy Thorpe and like all of that kind of stuff. And obviously all this courtroom stuff, you didn't really hear about it that much anymore. No. But it was probably quite, it's where all the news came from.
It was, because you were allowed to report it. I don't think there was, there was no problems with defamation of character. There was no legal problems, because it was rather like reporting what goes on in the Houses of Parliament. You can just report away.
Yeah.
So it's great fuel, isn't it?
Yeah. Some really interesting topics. But yeah, I don't really. Yeah, she came off quite badly from that. So what was she saying this time on Sunday?
Well, how they've built their lives, and Jamie Vardy is now playing for an Italian. He's moved from Leicester and is playing for an Italian club, and their life now that. And
so much like
she's
that.
A lady. She's obviously an incredibly driven lady, and she's just put it behind her.
Fair enough.
She hasn't, I don't think, totally fessed up to it, but she put it behind her.
Wasn't that? I don't really know.
It was. I think Colleen played an absolute blinder, because she didn't say it was Rebecca Vardy. She said it's Rebecca Vardy's account, which was on Twitter.
Okay, fine. Yeah, because the whole Wagatha Christie thing was the fact that she put it on private account, wasn't it?
was.
And then she whittled down
Yeah.
who it could potentially be. So she would
Exactly.
take people off. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
But would it have been Twitter? It's
I
probably
think it's
Instagram.
Instagram. It's
Would
probably
have been
Instagram.
the gram.
The gram.
The gram.
I don't
And
think. Yeah.
Anyway, talking about love, I've brought along. It's funny. We got an Egyptian thing. We got that chapati, the brass thing that was Indian there, and then I've got. Whenever I go into an antique shop, the first thing I always ask is, "Have you got anything to do with the Taj Mahal on it?" And I bought this box in an antique shop in Tunbridge Wells.
Nice.
And it was
Yes, it is the Taj.
the Taj, so it's Taj. And they all have different, they all describe it differently.
Yeah.
Taj Mahal. And this at Agra. And here we are, it's a wooden box. And in high relief, they've got a carving of this great Islamic piece of architecture, the great Mughal palace. Well, it's really a mausoleum. And then the ground, and it's got these lovely rounded corners, is all engraved with flowers. So
Really nice.
Indians love flowers, and don't we all love flowers?
Well, it was. Yeah. Well, I mean, we
And
went.
then beside you, look,
Oh yeah, another Taj.
another
Mother of
Taj.
pearl.
So I bought that. I don't know where. I think it was a top. I bought that in an antique. The base came. The base is a Damascus table, Syria, marquetry they were sold in heels at the time. That very smart, not heels. Sorry, liberties.
Liberties. yeah.
Liberties. So it's sold in liberties, and it's the sort of time of Rex Whistler, all that, 1880, 1890, Oscar Wilde.
And these are for sort of like, well, I know you have these homes sort of like soap on the side of the bath and
Yeah,
like
I
small
think
tape, like they're
they're useful tables, aren't they?
They are very useful tables.
They're useful for cups of tea and glasses of wine.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just the right height,
Heights for your chair, yeah,
aren't they?
which is really nice.
And the Taj Mahal, so that was, when was it commissioned? His poor wife, Shah Jahan,
Yeah.
the Mughal emperor. Again, I went to the V&A and I saw the Three Kings exhibition, which was fabulous. And Shah Jahan lost his wife.
Yeah.
I think his
14th wife.
14th wife in childbirth.
Yeah.
And-
Who was his favourite, obviously,
Favourite.
I think.
And he commissioned this great mausoleum, and it was completed. I think there was something like over 20,000 artisans working on it.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about bricklayers here. We're
This is
talking
like
about, this
properly-
is made of white marble, and then it's all inlaid.
Yeah. It is. I mean, I haven't been. I don't know if you haven't been.
I haven't been,
But
no.
we did go to the mini one. Did you go to the one in Jodhpur, or were you ill that day?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I was ill.
You were ill because we
Yeah.
went to the fort of Jodhpur, but they've got the one that on the side of Jodhpur, which was the mini. It's the could nickname the mini Taj Mahal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The emperor after that, the Maharaja of Jodhpur went to the Taj Mahal and was like, "This is amazing." So I'm going to do the same. But it was on a very very much smaller scale, just for the Maharajas who die. It's just a family one.
Just a fan.
But
I did. I did.
You did go.
I did.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was lovely.
So lovely.
Within its gardens.
Yeah, and you could see there was where that statue was.
Yeah.
Of the man on the horse, one of the Maharaja who overtook, because he got kicked out and then he came back and fought
That's
again,
right.
didn't he?
That's right.
And then it was sort of halfway in between. But the one thing I remember is it was quite bright sunshine, and it was me and my little sister there, and we went inside, and I was wearing shorts, so I had to borrow someone's sarong just to cover my legs up, because obviously you're not allowed to go out without bare skin.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. It's totally fair enough. And went in, and it was so cool inside.
Yeah.
And also it was light because the sun goes through the marble's transparent.
Yeah.
Or not fully,
Yeah.
but
Sort of opaque,
yeah,
isn't it? Let lights
so
in.
amazing.
And I suppose you can cut it. It's rather like, you get crystals and onyx. They have a certain amount of transparency in them, don't they?
Yeah, it was absolutely Amazing. I mean, I'd love to go to the Taj Mahal. I mean, we were slightly out of the way. We'll go back at another time, won't we?
Yeah.
Or sometimes we'll go
Yeah.
back. But the Jodhpur one was, after going there, it was pretty amazing. And that was the mini version of it.
I feel as though I've been there because I've watched Slumdog Millionaire quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I think
And
there was
you
a
bought
great...
every bit of memorabilia from the Taj Mahal.
No, but I remember I'd watched it and it slightly stuck in my mind. So I was very loath. I didn't want to take I took my shoes off, but I didn't put them down because remember the scam was they used to sell, the nice shoes.
Yeah.
Nick the nice shoes. So I had them with me and I got in terrible trouble.
Yeah. They don't like. I think it's a sign of respect.
Yeah.
I remember these people just staring at my shoes because obviously, like, I've got quite big feet.
Jolly, behind you on the shelving, got a box there. What do you think? It's an unusual shape, that, isn't it? How many sides is it? You've got 5 or 6, is it?
1, 2, 3. That's 6, isn't it? Yeah.
6. So hexagonal. What do you think? Have a look inside.
It's got like chips in, has it?
Yeah, they're sort of gaming counters.
Gaming counters.
When people used to play cards the whole time, and
Ceylon is Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So what used to be Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
So that's inside. So
that's
bar that, I don't really know.
So quite interesting. So this would date. So I would say it's sort of turn of the century, and that would probably be for collars. So years ago, people used to have stiff collars.
Oh right, I thought you meant for like dog collars. I was like, that's
no. People used to have those stiff collars which were separate from their thing, and I think that's a collar box. So you could have put. You squeeze them up because they're circular, and you could put any number of collars. And they used to have these boxes, and I think that would be cedar lined.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, that would be cedar lined, keep the moisture away, and because you're in a humid climate, and you remember the British, did go all over the world in the most inappropriate clothing. You know?
It must have been hot.
Yeah, up Everest in tweeds. Because it's like the Highlands. And then, when you're in India, lovely temperature. It wouldn't have been as hot then, but, you dressed accordingly to your occupation, really. If you're an administrator, you probably wore morning coat like you might at a formal wedding.
Yeah, which is quite bizarre to think, because actually it would have been hot.
All those black clothing, just the heat coming in, and I think the sort of idea of sort of more casual clothing was a sign of weakness.
Yeah,
lack of moral fibre.
Well, we've all been at weddings where it's just like absolutely boiling, and you're wearing tails, waistcoat, tie. You would be like, Christ. But then they did do those great, I mean, the safari suits and stuff like that.
They were good, weren't they?
They looked like some quite fun-ish ones.
I think you know where you are with bellows pockets.
Yeah.
Don't you?
But I bet you anything, it was actually some people sweat and more uncomfortable nowadays if you're in non-natural fibres in heat. It's like wearing a plastic bag in heat. It's horrible.
Yeah. I remember going into an airport in, I think it was Spain or Mallorca, Palma Airport, and I went in there and looked in there and I said, there isn't a natural fibre in the place.
Yeah. Well, people wear terrible clothes on aeroplanes nowadays.
I know. All this kind of, people used to wear a jacket and a tie to travel, didn't they?
Now everyone wears gym clothes.
I know. Do they? Why? What less?
Well, I think it's very comfortable.
I suppose.
I think it's like wearing pajamas, I suppose.
Yeah.
But you can just, you see everything. It's just a bit mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very unseemly, isn't it? Especially in strangers.
I mean, we are two guys in tweed jackets in quite a hot room, being like, terrible.
I know we should really make it more uncomfortable and
wear a tie,
shouldn't we?
I remember when we were younger, I didn't really see Grandpa without a tie until he was in his later years.
Yeah. Well, casual clothing at the weekend was a tie and a V-neck jumper.
Yeah.
Where's the jacket?
So he would he wear it when you were younger? He would wear a tie in the weekend.
Depending, yeah, quite often.
Quite often.
But the Navy was they were quite sensible because, a normal uniform always had an undone top collar, and then you had a Guernsey jersey.
Right.
And then you had your webbing belt and your trousers. It was quite practical.
Quite practical.
But years ago, there was a lot of moving parts around.
Yeah.
You think of the machinery and gun turrets and things like that. You can't have too much stuff where you're suddenly going to be caught.
I didn't actually realise that one of the good things about the Navy, after listening to the whole Nelson series they did, was all of the officers had to stand on the deck during battle.
Did they?
You're not. So when they would say take cover, they would say that, but they'd have to stand up. They were not allowed to, even with bullets and cannon fire and stuff like that. They were not allowed to duck for cover.
Really?
So they still weren't allowed to duck for cover, and they'd all be in those sort of crazy hats with everything like that. But they would have nice lunches on the back.
The bicorn hat.
They'd have nice lunches on the back of the boat and stuff like that. But all of the other guys, I think, did respect them a bit. Yeah, because they would stand up during an entire battle. Oh, you'd be shitting yourself.
Don't worry, I've got a telescope.
Yeah. Well, no wonder he had one eye, one arm.
Well, I think the terrible thing was the splinters and the shrapnel, wasn't it?
I think that was the killer. That was the real killer. Also, infection.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he was the one of the best thing that he did was bring lots of citrus fruits onto the things.
Yeah. They used to have a terrible thing called scurvy.
Yeah. I don't think, but dying at sea would be much fun. No. I don't think being in the Navy back then would be much fun, but then actually it would be amazing to see see new lands.
Yeah.
It would be really cool.
But that's why you were press ganged.
Yeah.
So you were press ganged. The people didn't generally volunteer for the Navy.
No. Yeah.
500 men in a in a boat, 200 foot long?
Yeah, in bunk beds, drinking grog.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
And all around you is water, but you can't drink it.
Yeah.
Very cruel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is amazing how people survived, but they were very hardy. But
I don't think they did. I think people died all the time. Yeah. You know how if I had a mate who died, I'm 35. If I had a friend who died, I'd be really shocked.
Yeah.
Really, really taken aback.
Yeah.
But back then, I imagine if you made it sort of 50s, you were an old man.
Yeah, you were. And, the extraordinary thing, I always loved that statistic, that Henry VIII was 6 foot.
Yeah.
He must have been a giant.
He was huge.
Man.
But have you ever? I remember going to the British Museum and seeing the Tower of London and seeing his rings, and they were like that big.
Really,
they were huge. Yeah. But he was I don't think he ate a vegetable.
No,
he just ate meat and drank red wine.
Excellent.
The smell. He must have smelt so bad.
It's like being condemned or blessed with forever eating curry for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
that's probably why the Indians have a lot of vegetarian curries, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think refrigeration's still something that they're getting to grips with.
Yeah. I like this. I like the way the inside of this box, so it's hexagonal. It's porcupine quills. So I must say, I've been to Sri Lanka quite a few times. I've never seen a porcupine.
Nor have I, actually.
They've obviously gone all into souvenir wear.
Yeah.
But I haven't really travelled in inland. I'm sure there are lots more inland. But it's a lovely box. Good. When you do odd shapes, you get... you push the boat out a bit, don't you? Everybody can do something square or possibly even round. But when you start introducing more sides than is normal, then, you're on the road to beauty, aren't you?
It's nice. It's a nice box. It's good. We seem to be bringing on loads of different accessory things that are completely redundant nowadays.
I know. Stiff collars or possibly wigs. Yeah. And I don't think anybody has a toupee anymore or a wig, do they?
No, they just go to Turkey and get your head on.
They get their Turkey.
But it's still that's kind of like putting on a wig, isn't it?
I suppose so, but it's natural. chap who used to work with us, he had his hair done recently, no names, and it's really funny. He looks like a poodle now. He's got this lovely sort of curly hair.
Yeah.
He never had curly hair. Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, I just think it's very hard to pull off if you already have gone bald. A lot of people are now doing it as they are going bald.
Okay.
So they'll have it topped up here, but at the front. But then they've got to incrementally do it. Otherwise, they'll have a bald patch and then very odd bits of hair in the front of their head.
Yeah.
So I think I think once you go down the road, you're in it.
Augmented. I remember when I was busily auctioneering, we had a lovely printers who used to produce our catalogue, and every year they used to have a golf day, and the company was led by this very charismatic, great man, and he always used to have we'd come in, and there'd be a big dinner afterwards, and his final thing was he used to thank all his staff and clients for coming that day, and he'd raise his toupee like a hat.
That's so good. I think if you wear a toupee, you've got to take the piss out of it.
You have got to,
because otherwise people will be like, he's wearing a toupee. Yeah.
But it's always an object. It used to be an object of great fascination years ago. Is that person wearing a toupee? And that's a boring thing now.
I know.
You don't. That's lost. And the idea, that great cinematic thing where somebody with a toupee forgets about it, dives into the pool, and then emerges, and then there's this funny mossy thing over here, and he's over there.
Well, I still think the one thing that will never leave or get old or whatever is men who dye their hair.
Yeah.
You can always tell men who dye their hair.
I know.
Which is great. I always quite like that when people... I think whatever makes you feel good, but I still have not seen a single man do it in a good way.
No,
because I think it's
very
quite,
tricky.
It's quite shameful. It's probably the first time you've ever used dye.
I think you can get away with it. I think just shows you how the brain is amazing. So the brain is doing all this comparable evidence, and we think the person probably gets away with it for 18 months, 2 years. And then when it goes over 2 years from what the brain thinks...
Hold on a minute.
That's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you got to I think it's very funny. But yeah, some people...
Yeah.
Some people will.
And they will always resist any comment or accusation, won't they? Oh, no, I've always been
natural.
Like this.
Very natural. Yeah.
The wife is keeping quiet then.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel. But fair enough. Whatever floats your boat. But yeah, no weeks have gone.
Well, you're lucky. You've got a good head of hair.
I'm right. I think my mum's dad, it runs through his side. Your side are a bit.
I'm a bit thin, aren't I?
I think I'll be all right now. Like I would have thought by now I would have started to lose it.
Yeah, peaks.
But I'll go a bit, but nothing crazy. I think.
No, you're very lucky.
Yeah,
very lucky.
Yeah. I think me and Ned have been very lucky.
You're blessed. Well, you can thank your mother for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the dyslexia.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, no, it's lots to be thankful.
Your mother's in charge of spelling and grammar.
Spelling and grammar. I didn't get that from Mummy.
I just give the creative key.